Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and I'm going to try my hardest today to not make this video a complete hometown fanboy video. I'm from Minneapolis. I live just outside of the city. Been here for over a decade and been a part of the music scene here, playing in different bands and groups and things, and really love it. I think there's some really great music that is coming out of Minneapolis right now. There's always been good music coming out of Minneapolis. We're a relatively under the radar city, but it's really cool to be a part of and to sort of see what's going on here. And I'm excited because my buddy Alex Young got to track some drums on this video for the intro song. I want to give a big shout out to him and a thank you for doing that. He's a fantastic session, studio, and live drummer. He does a lot of remote work out of a studio called The Library here in Minneapolis, and would love to chat with you about tracking drums on your next project. Check out the bio, check out his Instagram, and get connected with him if you're looking for a drummer or percussionist for your next release. So let's jump into today's pedal. We're talking about the Spaceman Aurora. It's an analog flanger. I'm probably going to say the word chorus as much as I say flange here because a lot of how I use this pedal feels like a chorus or a vibrato effect. They all kind of meld and mesh together in my mind in terms of effects. There's a lot of similarities and overlap and things. So that's what we're talking about today, and we're going to kind of couch it in the overarching context of this type of modulation effect. I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with chorus and flange effects since I began playing guitar. My reference point, like maybe some of you, was 80s bands like The Police, who used these really pronounced, obvious, overt chorus effects, really shimmery and kind of almost seasick, chorus sounds, which I think have their place certainly in that area of music. They were big. But there have been numerous times I've put a chorus pedal on my board and tried to dial it in and always felt like it was just too overpowering. It was doing things to my sound that I just didn't want it to do. It was too out front. And so the Aurora and my time with it so far has kind of put me back on track in how to use these types of pedals for chorus, vibrato, flanger, those types of effects. And where I think the beauty of these effects lie is honestly in their subtlety. I'm going to call back to Minneapolis here, some local artists. I've been really into Landon Conrath and an artist named Bear, both young up-and-coming artists from Minneapolis. Again, go check out their stuff in my bio here too, but I've noticed a lot in their mixes and their songs, there's this kind of like perpetual waver, flutter, modulation thing happening, both in the mix and in certain, of the guitar textures and other parts. And I wanted to kind of hunt that down. And the track, the intro track, was heavily inspired by both of those artists and others in town here. And I think there's a magic and a sheen that you can kind of get from a pedal like Aurora by setting it pretty mild, pretty subtle, where you really get some cool magic both in the kind of EQ and sheen and sparkle of it, along with the movement of the pitch from the modulation effect there that you really miss if you kick it off. So we're going to dig into some of the subtleties of this pedal. There's a huge range that you get with all the controls on the Aurora, and we'll probably cross over into some of those more extreme sounds for moments, but I really was drawn to the other end of really subtle applications for this pedal. So we're going to check that out. We're going to lean into the LFO2 mode. We're going to check out the LFO1 mode. We're going to check out the tape mode too, and just kind of see through each of those modes how we can get some effects that are subtle and nuanced, and ones you'd really miss if you it didn't have in the mix. So like I mentioned, this pedal's been out for some time. There's a bunch of different videos and demos online already of it, so I don't really want to reinvent the wheel here or repeat other folks' videos. So check out other videos on this if you're looking for more of a video manual or kind of a tutorial type video. Check out the actual manual. There's some really cool features and functions in the different modes, specifically having to do with the rate and the range control. So what I love about this sort of just in general is that you can get some cool asynchronous sounding modulation sounds. In the second modes of LFO, and tape, you can use the rate and range modes to affect the speed of the rise and fall of the waveform, the modulation. So I really enjoy leaning into those controls and kind of creating some asynchronous, irregular waveform, wave shapes and things in some different settings. I also love that they included a volume control. You can get up to 6 dB of boost if you want. And then also the mix control that allows you to dial it full wet for that kind of vibrato sound, or dial it back for the more subtle kind of background lower mix settings. I'm excited to dive into this. Let's check out a few of my favorite sounds from this pedal that have kind of inspired me to lean into the subtler sides of flanger, of chorus, of vibrato, and check them out in a few different contexts. I'm going to be using my Fender Marr Jaguar into my pedal board. Aurora is at the front of the board. We're going to hit Origin Effects MEQ driver for a little bit of gain. We might have Strymon Brigadier or a Volante on for delays, and then a little bit of reverb from the Strymon Flint. I'm going to be running it into a UA Dream amp. Check it out.
Thank